We are live.
And
Welcome
we
on,
are
Bruce.
live here in Texas. It's 5 a.m. Good morning, guys. I know some of you are just, oh man, you're still from your Christmas parties last night. We're also live around the world. Of course, our LinkedIn friends, our friends from Crypto Cake, and of course my Xlands, my Twitter friends who are really just absolutely wonderful. And that the feed is working. I feel like on the Twitter, right? It's popping a little funny for me. How you doing, David?
Yeah, fantastic. Here at Blockchain House, Portugal, studio room. So we are loving it. Lots of good things happening in Portugal, of course, this time of year. It's like you said, it's the holiday season. The city's buzzing, so everything's cool.
Everything is cool. Well, lots of fun. Money in the morning. Impact.live. You can watch us live there at Impact.live, or, of course, across these different platforms that we have, these wonderful platforms that we have. Money in the morning, and, tips and understanding what's going on with the money in these confusing times. And we had our inaugural show yesterday. Really had a great time with it. And we're going to do this every morning, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 a.m. there in Texas, Monday through Friday. And as you saw yesterday, we had some wonderful guests. Matthew Dixon will be joining us with Yvette. He's going to share some inside information. Inside being that that all the smart people know. So, um, but yeah, fun times, and the market right now is really in commodities and different types of stocks and stuff like this are really exploding. It's important that you know what to do with your money, where to put it. Let's face it, you work hard for your money, right? You work hard for your money, and you want to know where to put it. Good morning. One of our friends from X just said, "Nice to see you." Now I see we have this over here. That's really great. So a lot going on, of course, and I don't want to get too political as well on this show. But gosh, we have this news out of Colorado as well, David. Unbelievable. I mean, what do you think about that? Trump, Colorado Supreme Court stopping Trump from being on the ballot.
It seems to go against the will of the people, and to give someone criminal actions when they haven't done a crime is absurd. And we can't really let this just happen to us and have our 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 dignity taken away, our voice taken away. And it's a pretty extreme move by Colorado of all places.
Colorado, you're supposed to be liberals, guys. You're supposed to be liberals, okay? And I think the main thing is, guys, that yeah, he's been. Of course, they charged him with all kinds of stuff, but he hasn't been found guilty. So how can you say that he can't do something because of some statute when the guy hasn't been found guilty? He's
It
not. He
doesn't
hasn't
make
been
any
found guilty.
sense.
It doesn't make any sense. So then they stayed their ruling pending a Supreme Court appeal, which of course Trump will take it to the Supreme Court. Who knows? But more importantly for this show is how it affects your money. That's really the important thing. How do these types of things affect your money? And a lot of defense spending right now too going on, and how does that affect you? And what are the ways that you can thrive during these times? Because during the 1930s, during the Great Depression, there were more millionaires made than any other time in history. So we came through the Roaring 20s, and then we got into the 30s. Of course, we decoupled. We decided we were tied to gold between 1900 and 1932. We were fiat before that, between 1864 or 62, 64, I think, and 1900. A lot of people don't know that. So we tried to do the gold standard for those 32 years, and then of course we went on fiat. But there were more millionaires made during that time, and people were poor. I mean, Grandpa David, I remember him telling me, making $7 a week, $7 a week as a, cutting wood, working at the lumber yard, cutting wood, waiting in line for food. I mean, we're talking, Great Depression was no joke. And during that time, there were more millionaires made than any other time. And so it's important that you're in a place where you can leverage what you're doing and leverage your money. And the interesting thing about commodities and stocks and stuff like this is that a lot of times these assets, they'll do 10x, they'll do 20x, they'll do 100x. So, it starts to get to a pretty interesting situation. As we talked about yesterday, when we first got in Bitcoin, it was $70 Bitcoin. Unbelievable. It went to 400. I told everyone, you guys just sell. This is way too overvalued. It's $400. Oh my gosh. It was crazy. Of course, luckily it dipped again after that. I think it went to 1,200 first though. I was crying. But anyway, crazy times. Of course, we have 44 ships right now in the Red Sea with this coalition to make that safe for different goods to come through there. But of course, all that stuff is it's costing a lot of money, and it's making stuff more expensive, right? And it's also the companies that are involved in those types of things are going up. And of course, they're printing the money in order to pay for those things. And as I talked about yesterday, I'll talk about it again. That NDAA bill is $800 and something billion. That's about as much as they collected in income taxes last year. So as they mint the money, as they print the money, which actually they don't even print most of it, they just make it up in the computer. 90% of our currency in the US dollar is never printed. It just exists. It's already digital money. People say, oh no, we can't go on digital money. We're already on digital money. Okay, guys, have some digital money that you can have control of. Something with a real blockchain that can't just be inflated out of nothing. So as will be a regular as we move forward, we have Matthew Dixon with us. He's going to share some of his insights. Let's bring Mr. Dixon up here. Matt Dixon is he is the CEO, the founder of Evade Ratings platform. I talked about it yesterday. I made a bunch of money with these guys trading using this platform. So wonderful stuff. Matthew is with us from the UK. How are you doing, sir?
Great, thank you. Good morning, and a pleasure to be on. Thank you, everybody. Yesterday, amazing show. I know a load of people joined me on Twitter. It was really good. So look forward to this because there's so many interesting things going on right now in the world. You mentioned what's going on in the Red Sea, where basically a number of the shipping lines have refused to go through there because of the risks and the concerns of being attacked. So these sort of things are pushing up inflation, and it's really interesting what we're seeing with the Fed. They're keeping rates on hold. They seem to have pivoted, and you really need to ask the question, this is unusual. Why are they pivoting when inflation is around about twice the target rate? And that's just the official rate. As we said yesterday, the rate may well be, it is a lot higher than that. So why are they pivoting? So either they know something we don't know, which may well be the case, or they're just trying to inflate their debt away because we know this massive debt burden they've got. So there's one or two questions that we need to ask. But we don't want to get too hung up in the long-term views that are out there, what's happening. I mean, it's really interesting, and it's good to have a regular show like this because we can air the views on a daily basis. And actually, when I'm trading, what matters is what's immediately in front of me. And that's why, as I say, a daily show for me is really good because we can look at what's immediately in front of us and see how that impacts our trading and our finances.
Well, that's really interesting, and I do want you to touch base again on this inflating our debt away because I hear a lot of stuff, and now I'm getting old too. But I knew that, but when you said it yesterday, I go, gosh, that makes a lot of sense. So if you could run over that for our new listeners, I thought that was quite interesting.
Well, I mean, don't forget, a lot of this debt was being created in the last couple of years. You know, most of that debt mountain has been created when interest rates were effectively zero, even negative at some time. So they could afford to repay the debt when the rates were zero, but now rates have risen to 5%. Over 5% now. That debt becomes so much more expensive to service, and it's impossible to service. And that's why we're seeing record number of bank failures, because these banks, they actually invested a lot of their deposits into bonds, basically paying a certain rate of interest. Now, as interest rates rose, those bonds declined in value. So what they thought was safe money invested into US Treasuries is not safe money, because it fell sharply in value as the interest rates rose. And so we can see rising interest rates really having real damage. You know, a record number of banks going under. Not many people know this because it's not been in the news, but we saw it in the crypto world, a couple of big banks going under. But these are the sort of risks behind the scenes that are happening with these inflated interest rates. But back to your question about inflating debt away, basically, if you just keep creating more and more money, then the debt that you have, because you're devaluing, it means that fixed value of debt, just say, for example, it's $1 trillion, just as an example. And if you create a further $1 trillion in the economy, effectively, you're able to service the debt, and the debt becomes less of a burden because there's twice as much money in the economy. And that's why inflation increases the amount of money in the economy. So it just means that it's much easier to service the debt that you have, and the debt becomes less and less relevant in terms of today's values. Everything we buy is costing more, but the actual debt remains the same. So if you actually got more money in the economy, it's easier to service the debt. So that's, I think, the plan behind the scenes about inflating the debt away. And
Go ahead. Absolutely. I mean, it makes total sense. Right now, about 40% of, and remember the NDAA, where that's basically the whole income tax right there, right? But then if you also took the 40% of the income tax, that's what we're paying on to service the debt. And remember, guys, when we say we're paying to service the debt, we're paying private banks. And that's another thing that people don't understand. They think the government prints the money. The government doesn't print the money. The private banks do. And it's a very interesting system that we have really around the world, this central banking system. And it's really now with the internet and with shows like this, and with different ways that we can get the word out and talk to each other, people are starting to realize, I think, more than they ever have before. Kind of like, okay, what exactly is going on? And when you go to buy goods and services, and they're so much more expensive, and when maybe you don't support, war is supposed to be called by Congress, and Congress never calls for a war, but somehow we're in war we've been basically in conflict since Vietnam, at least. I remember my father saying, he got out of Vietnam. He did 2 tours. They lost his paperwork actually on his 3rd tour, and they came and said, "Porter, we need you to sign the paperwork again." And by that time, he figured out that we weren't really trying to win the war. It was just like a banker's war. We were just making money. We were just having a war. And
amazing. Yeah. Just occurred to me what you're talking about. About double spending. So you mentioned yesterday about the spending all of the money on defense, and then today you mentioned they're spending all of the money on servicing debt. And this is double spend, and we got triple spend and quadruple spend. And that's the one thing that isn't possible with blockchain. It was designed so you don't get double spend.
Exactly.
But we're having double, triple, quadruple spend on the finances within the fiat system. And this just shows you what shambles it all really is.
Exactly. And that is, actually a double spend is back in the day with the early days of blockchain, we're always scared about double spend. Look at the blockchain. Do we have a double spend? We got 51% attacked. It was this stuff doesn't happen so much anymore. It's a bit of a different era. But although I guess BSV got attacked a couple of years ago, and they did what they did. But Yeah, pretty interesting. That's exactly what they're doing. They're just double spending, and then they take it, and people don't realize it because it just goes into inflation. So, I was looking at your X feed, and of course, it's like I always talk about consistency, right? And you and I, of course, we see eye to eye on a lot of things, and that's one thing we've always still talked about, right? Consistency. And there you are, every day with different trading tips and the different analysis and everything else. So I think it's absolutely amazing. What are you looking at right now? What are you excited about at the moment?
Well, I'd probably like to share a couple of charts if I can. I mean, this
That'd
is
be absolutely fantastic.
Let's give it a go, because I've been looking at a couple of things. One of them is just a long-term theme, and I'd just like to touch on that. I've shared it before, but I think it's really interesting, exciting. Technical analysis can be really exciting. There's some amazing stuff in there. So let me just have a go at sharing my screen and see what we can see. So I'm not sure whether you can see my chart there or not. Probably not.
So you hit present, and then you choose which.
Yeah. So, okay, I think we're almost there.
Okay. Yeah, and then just choose the tab.
Let's just try the entire screen and share,
Sure.
and then just see if I share.
Okay, I see it down here below now.
Okay, but I don't know whether you'll see my.
Boom.
Oh, you can see my chart, can you?
Yeah. All right, guys. Smart Money Live here, and money in the morning. We're figuring it out as we go every morning, guys. We're gonna be pros. We're gonna be pros real soon.
But what is good is it's live and it's real, and we're not just making this stuff up. This is real, and this is real charting. So I've not really prepared these charts. This is just a very simple illustration of Elliott wave. Elliott wave basically means you get 5 waves in line with the impulse, which is the trend. So you can see here, this is just looking at Ethereum from the beginning of Ethereum, where it costs next to nothing. And we've got 5 waves up: wave 1, wave 2 down, wave 3 up, wave 4 down, wave 5 up. That's an impulse. And then you get an ABC down. So that's effectively how Elliott wave works. There's a bit more to it than that, and we'll go into that one day maybe. But for now, let's
run through that one more time, though.
So when you're looking at basically the trend, with the trend is the impulse. Impulses in Elliott wave analysis move in 5 waves. So from the beginning, on the left-hand side, where Ethereum costs next to nothing, we moved up, first of all, in a wave 1, and then we moved back in a zigzag. That was
back in 2018.
Yeah. So for 2017, 2018, we got wave 1. Peaked at around $1,400 there, didn't it? Somewhere around $1,400. Wave 1. Then we get a pullback in an ABC wave 2, which took us back down to $78, $80, somewhere around there. So that was the wave 2. And then we got a big wave 3. Wave 3 is normally the aggressive wave. This is where all the institutions begin to get interested, although we've not yet seen that. And that's the theme of today. I'm going to jump onto that in a minute. But wave 3 anyway is the more aggressive wave, where people start to get confident about an asset. And this is where confidence grew in Ethereum. And we got this massive wave 3, which took us up to 4,300 odd. That's the wave 3. Then we got an ABC pullback in wave 4, which took us all the way back to 1,700 again. So you can see a really sharp pullback. And then we got a final push up to the all-time high there at 4,800 odd on Ethereum, the wave 5. So that completes a full 5 waves up for Ethereum. And then we got an ABC correction in wave 2. And corrections tend to be in 3 waves. So we got the ABC correction. But let me just expand that out a little bit, because it's quite interesting. I just want to show you some stuff about how predictive this can be. We have what's called a Fibonacci measuring tool. And what I'll do, I'll measure from the bottom of that A wave to the very top. That's the all-time high to the bottom of the A wave. And then we got the ABC higher up. So we can move this measurement around. It's a fixed measurement now, I've set it. So we can move it around anywhere. So I'll just move it to the top of that B wave. And so I moved it to there. Now that same measurement, 100%, we look at where that 100% takes us. Just look at that. It nailed the bottom to within $1 of Ethereum. So again, as I say yesterday, people say, are these markets predictable? Well, just look at this. To within $1, we nailed the bottom on Ethereum. which was absolutely amazing. And from there, the price has begun to move up. So that's just to give you the overall theme, that we got 5 waves up and 3 waves back, and it was very, very predictable. And I'll show you hopefully over multiple shows on all sorts of different assets. There's really exciting stuff, predictable stuff that we can see within those various assets, and the Fibonacci extensions linked with Elliott Wave, and so on and so on. There's so much we can do. So exciting. So here, as I say, we've got the ABC down. Let's just move over now to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, we got the same 5 waves up. I'll just zoom out a little bit. So we got the same kind of 5 waves up, up to here. Wave 1 took us to, remember that long run we had on Bitcoin, taking us to 19,000 odd, almost 20,000. Then we got that winter, didn't we? All the way back down to really low levels, 3,000 odd level. And then we got the big push up in wave 3. This is the same sort of pattern as we had with Ethereum. And we got a pullback in wave 4, and a final push up to all-time highs, wave 5 at 68 or 69,000, somewhere around there. So, and then we got the A, the B, and the C pullback. So what I want to say is that basically, what was this driven by? Let's just try and think a little bit out of the box. What drove this massive move up? Now, we know in this case, it wasn't institutional adoption really, because institutions haven't really adopted crypto as of yet. But think about what's about to happen. And we're about to see ETF regulation, ETF, becoming an acceptable venue for crypto. So once the ETFs, the SEC have delayed a little bit, as I said yesterday, but I've no doubt ETFs will be authorized and regulated. Once that happens, it opens the floodgates to institutional adoption. So what we've seen here, the first 5 waves up are retail adoption, which took us up in this massive move to 69,500. And then we've had a big crypto winter with FTX taking us to the low of 15,500. And now we're beginning to start to get a sniff of institutional adoption, and we're seeing the rise up. Now, we may well get a little pullback, but what I'm saying is once institutions come in, the floodgates are open. Money can flow into cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in particular, but there'll be other ETFs. There will be Ethereum. I'm quite sure there will be XRP to come later. So this is really opening the floodgates where pension funds, I think you call them is it 401, whatever it is?
401k here in the US, yeah.
Yeah. So once pension funds can invest in these things, you've got literally trillions that can flood into crypto, because there will be an acceptable form of holding within these assets, within these vehicles. And so potentially we're going to see a massive institutional adoption. So from wave 1, remember on this, wave 1 is the small wave, wave 2, you get back, wave 3 is the big wave. Now these are all fractal in nature. So this 5 waves up actually makes a larger wave 1. Then we get a pull back in wave 2, which is made up of A, B, C. Then wave 3, do you remember I said on Ethereum, wave 3 is the big wave?
Yes.
That aligns with our expectation for the institutional adoption being the big wave. So we've seen something like $1 trillion come into crypto, into Bitcoin, with the retail wave, but we've possibly got many, many trillions lined up with institutional adoption. So whilst the market, we're not saying short term what's going to happen, we'll look at shorter term charts for that, but long term, the future looks bright for crypto. So we may well see a really good push higher with institutional adoption and that money flowing in. But I'll just finish off with a couple of other little charts. I won't waste time, won't spend too much time on them, but just really interesting ones to look at. We'll need to change the time frame a little bit. So I'll just go down to the 4-hour probably here. And we'll look at XRP, because it's one that a lot of people are very, very excited about, because it has a real use case. It's used for transfer of money. It's genuinely an exciting crypto. So I'm just going to focus on the current price action. And what we're seeing is a move up, basically up to 75-ish area. And we've seen what we call a consolidation, what we call a bull flag, when you see a pulling back within a kind of triangle flag shape formation. And then normally following a flag, you see the flag pole here upwards. Then we see a flag consolidation sideways. Then at some point, you see what's called the thrust from the triangle. And the thrust would be expected to be higher here. And the thrust is normally very aggressive, which is why it's called a thrust. And so we have a support level here, which you can see price hasn't broken this support recently, and we'll probably retest that support. So whenever we retest this support, it's what we call a good risk reward setup. So the downside is minimal, the upside is substantial. So you set your stop losses accordingly. It means your loss is potentially very small, your gain is potentially massive, and this is just one little setup I've been looking at. And we can continue to follow that because we'll probably go up and down a little bit and retest this support. But if this support holds, it's a really good potential trade for people. And then just finally, I will look at ICP because we mentioned it yesterday, and it's just a really exciting one that we've discussed for quite some time now. But I mentioned yesterday that we've got some real good Fibonacci relationships. So I measured from the bottom here on ICP, Internet Computer Protocol. It's a really solid one, good scientific basis. I love what they're doing. I think it could be really a real game changer for transaction costs, etc., etc. So I measured from the bottom of the wave here to the top of this wave here. So that's that dotted line there. I put my Fibonacci measuring tool there as 100%. I then just transpose that same measurement over to here. So I'll leave that on there because I've done it already. And it's over to here. And then to the top of the next wave, which is here. And again, I've got another dotted line indicating the top of that wave. You can see from down here to here, that was the next wave. So I measure from here to the top of that wave, 1.618. And some of you who follow Fibonacci, Elliott wave, but even everything in nature is actually related to what's called the golden ratio, this 0.618. So this 1.618 extension is very, very important when it comes to trading. So what I'm saying is we measured that wave, we transposed the bottom of this wave here, and it gave us the exact top of the next wave. But then carrying on from that, we transposed that same measurement to the bottom of this wave, the pullback here, and 2.618 gave us the exact top of ICP on the next wave, to the penny, the exact top. And then we got a pullback underway. So it just shows how potentially predictable these markets are. You need to search around. This isn't the only tool you'll use, but I'm just saying it's there's some exciting opportunities you can identify. And if you got into ICP at the bottom here, you could have done a multi-X on your money. And this is just one asset. There are many assets out there with these exciting opportunities. So I'll try to switch back. That's enough for today on charts, but hopefully gives you a flavor of what we can do.
Well, it's really cool. I love watching this and charting it out, and the amount of money that is possible for people to gain, the amount of value for people to gain. Remember, if they're inflating your money a lot, you need a lot more of it. You need a lot more value in order to do what you normally do. And so when you have an asset class, you look at ICP again, and not to keep talking about it, but you look at ICP and it's $10 or whatever it is right now, give or take, and it was like $200 or more. I think I went to $400 before, but don't quote me on it. Definitely 200. I was actually sitting there in Dubai at one point when it had one of its big moves. I remember just dancing around, but that's a massive move. That is a massive move. And that's what we're looking at in this digital asset space. And so to have some exposure to it, these are, you said it yesterday, these are high risk assets. So it's not something that you want to put all your money into. Now, some people did, you got the Bitcoin guy, the Bitcoin family guy, we ran into each other in Portugal, and he did, and he like mortgaged the house and put it all in Bitcoin and everything else, and it worked out for him. And people can do that, but it's not recommended, right? I mean, these are high risk assets, but you want some exposure to them. You want some exposure to something that might 10x, 20x, or 100x.
That's something we talk a lot about, Bruce, within eVay. So yeah, there's some really exciting assets, some really exciting opportunities. But the key to investment goes right back to modern portfolio theory. All of investment portfolio theory and portfolio allocations are based on that theory. And that theory was based on the Nobel Prize winner, Markowitz, initially, who talked about this diversification. And he said that to be the most efficient portfolio effectively has as many uncorrelated assets as possible within it. And crypto is certainly not correlated with everything else. So it's one of those assets you need to hold. It's part of your diversification. And as you say, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversification is absolutely key. And crypto being uncorrelated should be one of those assets. And yeah, you shouldn't put too much into it, because crypto can be highly volatile. It's an emerging asset class, remember, an exciting emerging asset class. One of those which, some people gambled early and got in and held it and did really well. From an investor's point of view, a real professional investor's point of view, that's not the way you invest. They did great, and hats off to them. They've done really well, fantastic. But from a true investor's perspective, diversification is key. So do your research. Again, listen to the daily news. And that's why I love this daily show. Look at the latest stuff that's coming out, because, like you said, ICP went to, hundreds of dollars. And that was off the back, I understand, of FTX futures pumping the price before the asset even went live. They were pumping the perpetual future on ICP. And that's what pumped the price artificially high. So you need to be a little bit in the know what's going on behind the scenes, because that obviously was a massive red flag, a time not to jump in and follow everybody else, like lemmings over a cliff. Just there are warning signs out there. So you need to keep up with the news on a daily basis. And that's why I say, I don't care what the price is in 6 months. I only care what the price is tomorrow, because I'm trading my portfolio. I want to know what, has it gone up by tomorrow? And that's what's really important. Yes, be aware of the long-term themes, because they flavor what's happening short-term, but it's the short-term price action that really matters.
Awesome. Matt Dixon, the man. Check him out, guys. Evai.io, wonderful platform, EVAI.io. You can start using some of those tips that you have on there. Make an account. Matt, thanks so much for coming on, man. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. And I will drop, I know a lot of you followed me on Twitter yesterday at MD Trade. So MD Trade, just repeat it. But I love it, people following, because the more people follow, the more enthusiastic I get about it, the more I want to post. And there's some really interesting stuff there, not just about the pumps, but also the potential risks in the market. We're looking at, as you mentioned, about what's going on in the Red Sea, what's going on in the Middle East, what's going on in Ukraine, Russia. We saw Ukraine recruiting another, I think it's 500,000 soldiers. This is stuff that we need to be aware of, news that's out there. And I'll post on everything which, impacts investment. So again, thanks for the opportunity to share my views on the show, and look forward to next time. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you again tomorrow morning, and really happy to have you on here. Make sure to check it out, guys. And at MD Trade on X. Awesome, brother.
And by the way, if anybody has any particular things they want me to discuss, please drop me a line, and I'll be happy to put up some charts, put up some content, and we can discuss it on the show.
Awesome.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
So one of the things that we talked about yesterday, of course, we have Smart Money Culture, which is our production, our company, our host for being live here in Texas and Louisiana. We're growing that a lot. We are adding channels a lot. They're very aggressive here, and they really want to grow what we're doing and get out here. And guys, there is not, and I don't know why it never really happened, but there's not really a show like this where we kind of focused on digital assets and focused on these emerging asset classes. And so there's a niche here, and we have a lot of different hours to fill. So we're really looking forward to doing a lot more and having a great time doing it. That's for sure. Now, one of the things, of course, people will start to do commercials and, all these types of things as we grow. I put our main man there, Fly Mackey, on stage. And David, it's kind of one of those things, right? Like, you never know. Like, people started calling us the Porter Brothers, right? Oh, the Porter Brothers. All right, the Porter Brothers. All right, well, you just roll with it, right? So we're the Porter Brothers. I mean, we are the Porter Brothers, right? So, yeah. So that was easy. But the thing is that I lost my train of thought there with the Porter Brothers. But as we grow this, we're going to have more and more different people on. We're going to have more and more charting. We're going to have more and more digital assets for people to get out. And we're going to teach people how to do stuff as well. And so one of those things is, I pulled out my Android phone last night, and I'm normally on iOS. I mean, I was with we were friends with John McAfee, the late John McAfee, the great late John McAfee, as I call him. And he looked at my iOS phone. He said, "I can't believe you're on that." When we went to see him in the Bahamas, you remember that trip?
Yeah, of course. Why would you have a Android? Or iPhone spyware?
Spyware. He told us, "Here, just get on my Wi-Fi." He said, "Here, just get on my Wi-Fi." He must have told him 5.
No.
Like, no. I had already been warned. Whatever you do, don't go on his Wi-Fi. I love John, but he was one of a kind. And one of the things that was funny about John McAfee as well was he would just tell you a story and just watch you to see if you were believing it. So you could almost tell he was telling you a story if he just kept going on and on. Like if he just kept going on and on about the story and looking at you the whole time, then you say, "All right, hold on, is this guy just telling me the story?" It was fun too, coming back through customs after visiting him. He was running for president then as a independent. We went and saw him. I forget the year. I guess it was it must have been 2016, right? I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, I have to look that up. When we go over there to Bahamas, I saw him posting on his Twitter account, and I said, "I know where that guy is," because I had been through the Bahamas a bit. And I said, "He's in Exuma. I know where he is. I know exactly where he is." And so I called him up and said, "We're going to come see you." So that was pretty interesting because, of course, as history went, he got in some hot water. He kept calling out some political guy for, messing around on his wife or something. And then he got the Bahamas mad at him. And then he went to Europe, which probably wasn't the best move. And it was really sad to see got picked up by the Spanish authorities there for no real good reason. Income tax evasion. No, income tax fraud. I'm sorry, income tax fraud, which is different. And his thing was, "Hey, look, guys, how can it be fraud if I never lied about anything? I just never paid him, guys. I just never paid him." But really interesting guy. We were kindred souls. I was really sad to see when he passed. But one of the things that I learned a lot from John McAfee. I'm sure we both did. We learned a lot from John McAfee. He was he talked how we talk, and I did an interview last night with a guy named Chris. And we on this show we focus more on financial stuff and what is happening in the world that is affecting our finances, because that's what this show is about. But other interviews we talk about other stuff. But it's funny when you get to a point in your life when you've been around for long enough where you're the guy who people are, you remember the stuff, a lot more maybe than people that are younger than you, or even people that are older than you. And so it's interesting as we come into this phase. One of the things though is really, really amazing about crypto and about blockchain is that you can mine it.
Yes.
You can mine the crypto, and so you don't have to buy it. You don't have to trade it. You don't have to do any of this stuff. And that's one of the hard things about getting crypto for people, right? They don't know how to get it. And I want to remind everybody, we put our logo up there. We changed the logo out here and that, but impact.live, we're always streaming as well on impact.live. And you can go there and look at the different things. Our main site for Global Boost Media is Global Boost with a dot between the O and the ST. So Global Boost with a dot between the O and the ST. So it's a .st domain, Global Boost. And you can see what we have going on there. A lot of different things. 10-year-old blockchain, and massive really opportunity here. And people say, "Oh, the CBDCs and this and that and the other." And guys, there are plenty of ways to use a real blockchain anonymously. And that's not hard to do. Okay, and we can have different conversations about that. But I wanted to play a short video, very short, about how to mine crypto with an Android phone. How to mine crypto with an Android phone. Now, this is an old video. It's from 2019. Pretty funny. You can see a picture of my wife and I in the background. I think I told everybody yesterday we were Twitters. All right, hold on a minute. Stop this. I'm going to share my screen. It's a short 3-minute video, but I want to show everybody this. How to mine Boosty, but crypto. You can trade Boosty in for crypto with your Android phone. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen here, right? David?
Yes.
Okay. 3-minute video. Watch this. This is me almost 4 years ago with my USA hockey hat. We have a long history of working with the disabled, autistic kids and blind people, helping them play hockey and ice skate. So here's a. Hey guys, Bruce Porter here. I wanted to go over really quickly how easy it is to mine Global Boost with your Android phone and how everybody should be doing it. Back in the day, you used to be able to mine Bitcoins, many Bitcoins with your PC or other small devices, and now it's unheard of. And the little bit that you used to mine way back then would be millions of dollars now, and we could be in the same situation with Global Boost. You can also use the Android miner, the Neo Neon miner that we use to mine Global Boost to mine Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. But by far, Global Boost is the best. So what I have here are a few phones that are already up and running here. You can see they are mining right now with the Neo Neon miner. They're mining the Global Boost. Let's see here. There we go. And that is me right there. So what you're going to want to do to get started is go right over to the Emmy Girls Tumblr. Okay, and that's going to tell you exactly how to do everything. You're going to go to the Google Play Store and download the Neo Neon Miner. The Neo Neon Miner, which is right here. Open it up. There are ads. I think if you register it, the ads go away, and you just hit start. Now, before we hit start, and there goes the pop-up ad, but I wanted to show you how it works, and you can close that out. So it tells you on the Emmy Girls Tumblr, emmygirls.tumblr.com, and it tells you exactly how to do it, okay? You're going to swipe this over here, and you're going to change the presets that they have to these presets, which is the mining server, p2pool.e-pool.net, and the port is 8961, the protocol Stratum plus TCP/IP, mining protocols, yes script, which Global Boost, and this password can be anything. And remember, Global Boost, and we pioneered the use of this yes script algorithm that is now being used in over 15 cryptocurrencies and counting. So once you get that set, you're going to slide it back over there, and you just hit start. And it is that easy, and you are mining away, and you can monitor how you're doing right over here. Okay, right over here, and that's at that p2pool.e-pool.net, and that's a different port, 5853. I guess that one works too. And that's it, guys. And everyone should be mining. And if you want one of these blues right here, all set up and everything, I have a few of those. I'd let them go for $150. So just let me know and send me a PayPal, and I'll send it to you. And it's all set up and give you your own address and everything. All right, guys, take it easy. See you soon. Ha 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 ha. It's always funny to see those old videos of myself, you know.
Yeah, right.
So I'm gonna stop sharing here. Yeah, you know, man, it's been a ride, right?
Oh yeah, long
I
long
mean,
ride through all the different levels of where we're at.
it really has. So, over 10 years ago, we started the original Global Boost chain. And that was, we were attacked like a lot of other ones were. We went back to the drawing board. We came out with this. We were the first to pioneer this yes script algorithm, this hashing algorithm in blockchain. There's several different coins, actually quite a few over the years that have used it, and you can mine it still with your CPU, with your computer, and we'll go through how to mine it with your computer too, and some of the information on that, how to do the Android. I'll update some of it. I don't think that pool is up there, but I just that was a video that we kind of had with that. Let me share that because it's funny. I even looked I looked young there, but yeah, it's pretty funny. The thing is, guys, look, everyone should be mining. You should be mining. It's like, it's not free money, but it's money that you wouldn't have. And if you have the devices, and if you have your computer, an old computer even, you can still mine. And the thing is that people say, oh, well, it's not profitable right now because the electricity in the United States is expensive. So if you go and you do your thing, and maybe it's just profitable, or it's not that profitable, or it's not that money, not that much money. But if you look at the price of the asset now and the price of the asset where it potentially can go, then all of a sudden it gets really interesting. I can tell you that, back in the day, maybe it wasn't profitable to mine Bitcoin at $70. But if you mined a lot of Bitcoin at $70, you are very, very happy, and you're definitely in the profit at $40,000 or whatever we're at right now. And, with Global Boost, with the BSTY coin, the Boosty coin, we are at a point now, we're like between 5-10 cents right now. We're kind of moving around right there. We should have, we have our Elliott wave too. I should have Matthew take a look at that and chart it as well. But we went up to $1, we went up to $2 before. So you can imagine what happens. So the way it works is when you're mining, is the more miners that are on the network, the less coins you get. So right now we're producing 3,500 coins per day, and in April it halves along with Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes to less. We go to 12 or 12 and a half per block, but 1750 instead of 3,500. So that supply squeeze, of course, has an effect. So everyone should be mining. It's something that you should look into. To mine Bitcoin right now is, of course, you need to buy a special machine for it. You need to put out a lot of money for it. But to mine something like Global Boost, you can just do it with your normal computer. So that's something that everybody should be doing. So that our main website there, and I can share my screen again. Why don't I just go ahead and do that? Our main website. Boom. Let's see here. It's Global Boost with a dot between the O and the ST. So I'm sharing my screen. Here is Global Boost. We do have our live stream right here on Global Boost as well. Impact Live. Remember, at Impact Live, money in the morning. There's a lot that we're doing now. When you're looking at different assets, you really want to look at who's the team behind it. What are they doing? And, a lot of them, these days, you kind of know a lot of times who's behind it, but sometimes you don't. And, who are they? It's like Nick Spanos said. I mentioned him yesterday. We'll have to have Nick Spanos on. I just got to get him one time when he's overseas because I know he doesn't like the mornings too much. But Nick Spanos is a Bitcoin pioneer. He gave away Bitcoin like I gave away Dogecoin. He gave away so many Bitcoins that make you cry. But he worked for the Ron Paul campaign and also with the Rand Paul campaign. But, these decentralized coins, these coins have been going on for this long. They're not going anywhere. And so if we're at a point right now where it can be advantageous, something you want to look at. So there's a lot that we're doing here. The decentralized, the social hash, the free speech. We're setting up the media nodes right now. And we're continuing to build. And so those media nodes, we're decentralizing censorship control of the media. And, you know, if you guys are probably watching on different platforms, I know we're on TV as well, but, you know, X and different places. I mean, if you say the wrong thing, man, they'll pull your account. You're out of there, right? And so what we're doing is the same thing for media that Bitcoin did for money. Okay. We're decentralizing it. And with these decentralized nodes, we are making things, I wouldn't say censor proof, I'll say censor resistant. Okay. I'll say censor resistant. We're making things censor resistant. And in this way, of course, we're this continuous work, this continuous evolution of what's going on is what you want to look at. We still have our original developer as well. Of course, I helped out a lot with that back in the day. I don't really dive into the code too much these days, to be honest. But, you know, there's other things to do. But you can easily participate in this. And if I'm still sharing my screen here, we have exchanges. And you can just look at the different exchanges that we have here. I kind of accidentally clicked on this one. And it might take a minute to load, but this is Probit. It is one of our more liquid exchanges, and you can look at that. And we're growing, guys. So we're adding more exchanges, and that's going to continue to happen. But you can go over to Probit. You can get some right now and participate and help out this monetary revolution that we have going on. And this monetary revolution, this is how we free ourselves. And it's how we do it peacefully, because let's face it, there's a lot going on in the world right now. And for us to have something to take the power back, we can take the power back from these people. I hope that didn't mess up my signal too much, huh, David? All right, I'm going to stop sharing. But get involved. And if you want a bigger chunk, because I know a lot of people watching out there, if you're a bigger player and you're looking at a bigger play, 100,000, 200,000 or more, I invite you to come over to our sites, Global Boost, globalboo.st. Drop us a note. Let's talk about the different ways that you can get involved. You know, look, we don't want anything, you know, don't give us your last 100,000 or last 200,000 or something like that. But if you have, you know, at least double that, and you want to put some of it into, if you want to get in, as they say, into in that way, you know, let us know and let's talk about that and see what we can do. You can also go to smartmoneyculture.tv. There's a place there where you can put in your email and let us know. We are growing a lot with Smart Culture TV, with Impact Live, with Global Boost, with Matthew Dixon here and his Evade platform. We're growing a lot. And, you know, full court press, 6 a.m. in the morning here. I know it's 11 a.m. for my compadres there in Europe, David in Portugal and Matt in London. But it's a full court press, guys. And it's something that's really special. And it's something that, you know, in life, when you see a way, an avenue towards something, and you see a way to get there, you have to go for it. And that's really what we're doing. Thoughts, David?
Yeah, and a lot of times you can find the right people to take a lead, and you listen to some of the guys that have been in tech before blockchain, and they can really see where the industry is headed and really give you some good insight. So stick to your wise men out there and your visionary and your thought leaders.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing that comes up a lot, and I know, and I'll continue to talk about it every day, probably, is, you know, oh, and it's the, you know, it's the digital money and they can control it and this and that and the other. And guys, we are in a new phase of human evolution. Okay, we're in a new phase in our history. Okay, we have something that we never had before. Okay, we have something that cannot exist for anywhere other than your own head. Okay, you can download the Global Boost wallet or the Bitcoin wallet or the Litecoin wallet, and you can memorize your seed phrase. And you don't have to own anything. You don't have to. You know how they say you're not going to own anything, you're going to like it? Well, you don't have to own anything. You don't have to have anything. Nothing on your computer, nothing on your devices, nothing anywhere. You just memorize your seed phrase. It's good to use like a song or something like that to memorize them. And that's it, guys. And, this is the first time in the history of the world that we have ever had something like that. And that's one of the reasons why it's getting so expensive, because in our current society, they don't really want you to have something that they can't seize, they can't hold, they can't freeze, they can't take from you. Owning something nowadays it's fringe, right? If you don't pay your taxes on your house, they take it. If you don't pay your income taxes, they throw you in jail. And, here we have something that came along in our lifetime that we can actually own, and it's ours. And there's no way, besides putting on truth serum or whatever, if you want to give up your seed phrase, then you give it up, but you can actually own it, and you can travel with it in your head. And you can't travel. People say you need gold. Well, you do need gold. I agree. But you can't travel with a whole bunch of gold. You're gonna pop a bunch of things. But with this, you can keep it in your head. So it's really important, as we talked about, to diversify, to have some exposure to these different things. So it's all pretty interesting stuff. This is our program here is really to help people. It's to get the message out there. I'm probably supposed to say it's not financial advice. This is us bringing you what is going on in the world and how you can leverage what is happening to your advantage. Because trust me, a lot of people are leveraging what is going on to their advantage. You look at what's going on in Washington, here in Washington, and you have, there's all these people in Congress are making tons and tons of money. People ask, well, how in the world are the people in Congress on a, $300,000 a year salary making millions of dollars in a year? Well, they know what to buy. Number one, okay? Number 2, 3, and 4 is, of course, they get paid to post. They get paid to say this. There's all that goes on as well. We used to call it bribery. I don't know what we call it anymore. But anyway, I don't think we call it. I don't think there's anything illegal about that. But they know what to buy, And if you know what to buy, it's just like the old, we're going to build a road through that area. So I know, we need to purchase that land or anything else. So they know what to do. And so insights, tips during these confusing times, because let's face it, these are confusing times, and it's a lot of fun too. Let's face it, Dave, we've been around the world and interviewed a lot of different people around the world. It's fun.
Super fun. It's best experience in the world.
It really is. And as we move forward as well, we'll start to share more of the different places we've gone. I think probably tomorrow we'll share some of the interviews that we did from the AOC conference. We did the Electronic Warfare Conference last week. Very interesting. When I tell you guys very interesting, this was cutting edge. Electronic warfare, information warfare. What's going on? What is really going on? And what that has to do with your money. So really, really exciting stuff. I want everybody, make sure you visit those sites. Global Boost, that's Global Boost with the dot between the O and the ST. We're always live on Impact Live. I want to thank as well Crypto Cake YouTube for letting us go live. 1.7 million followers, subscribers there, as well as of course, Xland. We all love you guys. Smart Money Culture TV Network. Hats off to you guys. Fly Mackie and the team for giving us this platform to get the word out, to help people understand what's going on, how we can win. And, largest, we've heard so many times, largest transfer of wealth in the history of the world happening right now. So we're going to sign off. You want to bring Matt on real quick? Matt, you can say bye.
Yeah, good. Again, great show. Thank you for everything. As you say, opportunities everywhere. Global Boost, I'm going to look into it more closely. I know we've been in touch for ages, but
awesome.
Yeah, sounds really exciting looking into the mining. I'll have a look at that and let's discuss it further. So thanks
Very
for today. Look forward to catching up tomorrow. Again, let me know any themes you want to discuss. It's all good stuff.
Awesome. Totally awesome. We really appreciate you, Matt. David, thank you, sir. And
Thank you,
Smart
Bruce.
Money Culture TV, guys, we are out of here.
See you.
All the best.
Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join Global Boost, become a champion of free speech, and help to reshape the future of media.